Fox continues to melt down, and that meltdown is accelerating as Vice President Kamala Harris and her running mate, Governor Walz, continue to gain momentum, making Donald Trump and shady Vance look so small and just yesterday's old odd news in comparison. Let's just take a look at what Fox was even doing last night and yesterday. It's so bad. Take a look at this. You have Jesse Waters, who's basically like their Tucker replacement. And so his criticism of Governor Walz is that Governor Walz is twitchy, he says, as Bradley Moss commented, "I can't think of someone who should be talking less about what men do than Mr. Hair and Makeup himself." Here, play this clip.
Here's Twitchy Tim on stage, waving profusely in a very unsettling manner. Very unsettling. Men should not move this way. It's not the way we move. And the handshake is probably the most telling. This is Walz and his wife shaking hands like business associates, followed by a weird hug. Now let's compare that to Walz's interaction with Kamala's husband, Doug. Interesting. What's going on here?
Wow.
Then you had Laura Ingraham try to respond to the fact that there's just such momentum in places like Minnesota and Wisconsin. And Laura Ingraham goes, the states, it's totally changed. And Milwaukee's changed and Minnesota's, it's all very different. Here, play this clip.
And these are just facts, Mary Catherine Ham. I mean, if you know Minnesota, and I don't well, especially Milwaukee, it's changed.
Then you have Jeanine Pirro. By the way, this is all just like concerted propaganda. Then you have Jeanine Pirro say about Governor Walz based on like a 1995 arrest. You have Jeanine Pirro go, he was a drunk driver, Governor Walz. He's a drunk driver. Here, play this clip.
Finally, this is what I love about this guy. This guy is a great drunk driver, and I'll tell you why. As a drunk driver, he thought the police that were trying to pull him over, he says he thought, according to his lawyer when he was pleading guilty, that it was some guy chasing him. Okay, the guy chasing him was the cops. So what's your excuse for speeding at 96 miles an hour, although I shouldn't talk, 96 miles an hour, before the trooper started chasing you? And
hey, Jeanine, Judge Pirro, hard to believe that's even a thing. Hey, Jeanine, you know, Donald Trump was found liable for sexual assault last year. Donald Trump was convicted on 34 separate felony counts. A few months ago, his sentencing is in September. Donald Trump was found liable for fraud in a civil case and fined about $500 million in the past 6 months. Hey, Jeanine, the Trump organization was also convicted of felonies the same way Donald Trump was individually convicted of felonies. Hey, you know, Donald Trump's on audio tape bragging about sexually assaulting women. You know, Donald Trump's on audio tape saying that the reason he started beauty pageants is so that he can inspect girls naked without their consent. And he says they just let you do it when you're the owner of the pageant. You know, Donald Trump's on tape talking about how he wants to sleep with this 18-year-old girl because she has mental health issues and that makes her better in bed to Donald Trump. You know, that's what he said. Donald Trump's on audio talking about having what he has in common with Ivanka is sex. By the way, Ivanka's mom, is buried in Bedminster, and they let all the shrubbery grow over it. Like she's like buried in the back lot of Bedminster. So like, is that where we want to go? I mean, that is why, though, by the way, and let me just play this clip, then I'll show you more of Fox, the meltdown. It's why what Governor Walz said resonates so strongly with me. It's that these MAGAs and their propaganda networks, they want to take away our joy. They want to take away our smiles. They want to take away our happiness, and they want to pit American against American so that their billionaire class and their decamillionaires can benefit, trying to cause fights and division. But we're wise to their scam and their stunts. But let me show you what Governor Walz said yesterday. Play this clip.
This is what we know. All the things that make me mad about those other guys and all the things they do wrong, the one thing that I will not forgive them for is they try to steal the joy from this country. They try and steal the joy. But you know what? You know what? Our next president brings the joy. She emanates the joy.
Support for today's episode comes from Hexclad. Revolutionize your cooking experience with Hexclad cookware, where innovation meets culinary excellence. Hexclad cookware is designed to simplify your time in the kitchen while adding a touch of elegance to every meal. Hexclad has changed the cookware industry with an all-in-one hybrid pan that gives you the convenience and cleanup of nonstick, the versatility of your grandma's cast iron, and the durability to last a lifetime. Seriously, Hexclad cookware has a lifetime warranty. Even the great Gordon Ramsay, known to many as a bit of a critic, only trusts Hexclad pots and pans in both his home and all of his Michelin star restaurants. If it's good enough for Gordon, we think that you'll be satisfied too. And for a limited time, Hexclad is giving our listeners 10% off your order with our exclusive link. Just go to hexclad.com/Meidas. Support our show and check them out at hexclad.com/Meidas. MEIDAS. I've been using Hexclad in my kitchen, and let me tell you, it's an absolute game changer. Compared to my old pots and pans, Hexclad is on a whole different level. They look fantastic, perform incredibly well, and cleanup is a breeze. The 6-piece set is the perfect starter bundle, featuring 3 of their most popular pans with accompanying lids. Whether I'm searing steaks or making delicious sauces, Hexclad delivers exceptional performance on any stovetop. My kitchen will never be the same, no more sticking, burning, or uneven cooking. Hexclad's patented laser-etched hexagonal steel ridges boost your searing power and truly check every box. They're metal utensil safe, dishwasher safe, and oven safe up to 500 degrees. They're induction ready and even have a stay cool handle so you could saute with ease. Hexclad's elegant design and durable construction make it the perfect choice for entertaining all summer long. Impress your guests with beautifully prepared dishes that look as good as they taste. For a limited time, our listeners get 10% off your order with our exclusive link. Just head to hexclad.com/Meidas. Support our show and check them out. Once again, that's hexclad.com/Meidas. MEIDAS. Bon appetit. Let's eat with Hexclad's revolutionary cookware. Elevate your cooking game to new heights with Hexclad.
By the way, on Fox, the one pro-democracy voice, Jessica Tarlo, was not messing around yesterday. Here's what she tried to say, or she said, as the other Fox hosts were trying to do like a swift boat on Governor Walz, who served with distinction for 24 years, the highest ranking member of Congress, or the highest ranking military role in Congress. And yet Donald Trump and Shady Vance are trying to swift boat the guy. Donald Trump's Mr. Bone Spurs over here. Here, play this clip.
You asked me. I'm telling you.
He said that people who had gotten captured, the suckers and losers, doesn't want to go and be seen next to people.
That.
Oh, he's denied everything. He denied his stuff with Stormy Daniels, but that obviously hasn't worked out for him.
And here is Greg Gutfeld trying to talk from Fox, trying to say that they reject their crazies. Watch what Jessica Tarlo does. Play it.
And, you know, we reject our crazies. It's time for you guys to reject them.
Okay.
Give me a crazy person. I'll reject him.
Donald Trump.
See, that's your problem. He's not crazy. That's your problem.
That is exactly the problem.
You think that
every metric was up when he was president. And
that's
you know
not
what?
true.
Oh, okay.
There's nothing that he...
Then, of course, now Fox is whining that the polls are rigged, that the polls are being juiced. It's more of just the whining, the complaining, this loser mentality of just stop whining and just are you even going to do reporting, or is it just going to be whining all the time and spreading more lies like you did in 2020? Play the clip.
Glowing endorsement. So this is just another hoax, Walz. And the media is just going to protect and elect this guy. And they're juicing the polls. I just found out this country identifies R+2. And all the polls we've been seeing with Kamala doing so well, their samples, R+7, R+8, R+4. These are fake polls. Trump's going to kill her.
Another great moment between Jessica Tarlo and Jesse Waters. Play this clip.
Not blaming. I mean, I'm just saying.
Walz called in the National Guard before
over tampons.
May 30th.
No.
May 30th.
May 28th, more than 7 hours before Trump asked to do. There is audio up right now of Donald Trump on the phone with Tim Walz praising him, as well as Secretary of Defense, I should say, Mark Esper, who wrote in his book about what a good job Tim Walz did with that.
Then why is the city a crisp? Why is the city burned down?
It's still
if it did such a great job.
I love that you
dangerous city
We gotta go.
in the country.
We didn't even get to Governor Walz's butter sculptures in this segment.
I know. Well,
Jessica Tarlo talking about how for 24 years Governor Walz served admirably, and you're going there when you have Mr. Bone Spurs Donald Trump. Play this clip.
So I'm going to go stolen valor first.
Yes.
So obviously this was going to come up because the Trump campaign manager was the one behind the John Kerry Swift vote attack, which was obviously very persuasive to people. He served for 24 years honorably. Then he stopped to run for Congress on a platform of ending the war. And I don't think that anyone, especially with Donald Trump at the top of the ticket, did he dodge the draft 4 or 5 times? Bone Spurs, Captain Bone Spurs? What say you, Judge?
Bone Spurs are a very serious issue, Jessica.
I can tell by the way
Bone
you
Spur
said that,
Association.
that you know that
Send
it's
your
not
letters.
serious.
Yeah, but you know what?
Here's Jessica Tarlo saying, okay, you really want to do this tit for tat? Play the clip.
I don't think that you should ever say that anyone who served didn't do a good job in this. If JD Vance wants to get into that tit for tat, he was in the public affairs department. It's just a fact of all of this. I don't think he should be going there with Tim Walz. I think that everyone who has
He was
served,
in a war zone. He was in Iraq.
walking around with a,
He was in Iraq.
he was a reporter.
He was in Iraq, okay?
Okay.
He was
Now,
in the Marines.
okay.
And this
I
guy
get it. He's a
left
big man.
his
JD
unit.
Vance.
His units, listen, it doesn't
So,
matter what I think. His
it does
unit
matter.
thinks he's a coward. His
that's
unit
not true.
thinks
And
he's
this
a
has
coward.
come up
Doesn't
before
matter
in
what I
past
think.
elections. Okay.
Here's Donald Trump's communications director saying kowtow. Play this clip.
And Kamala Harris continues to kowtow to the far left pro-Hamas sympathizers in this great country.
This was when Fox cut to the weird Shady Vance press conference. So Shady Vance has basically been stalking Vice President Kamala Harris. So Shady Vance takes the Trump plane and flies around wherever Kamala Harris goes and like follows her. And then he tried to go on and inspect her plane, which is just super creepy. And then Shady Vance held a press conference and he was asked by a reporter, and this is when Fox cut to it, like, so do you like ever, I don't know, like smile and like laugh? Here, play this clip.
A little bit different here. You've been criticized as being a little too serious, maybe angry sometimes. What makes you smile? What makes you happy?
Well, I smile at a lot of things, including bogus questions from the media, man. I mean, look, I think if you watch a full speech that I give, I actually I'm having a good time out here and I'm enjoying this. But look, sometimes you got to take the good with the bad. And right now I am angry.
Can we just show you, though, how it's done? This is Ben Winkler, chair of the Wisconsin Democratic Party. It's great. Here's what he had to say on CNN. Play this clip.
Well, we have to expect a vicious, constant string of utterly dishonest hogwash attacks. The reality is that Trump, candidate Bone Spurs, who escaped his own service and then described avoiding sexually transmitted diseases as his personal Vietnam. This is someone who is in a glass house trying to throw stones through the wall. At the same time, Tim Walz served for 24 years, and then he was elected to Congress in 2006 and has been a champion for veterans and for the armed services. Vice President Harris worked with President Biden to pass the PACT Act, the biggest increase in support for veterans benefits in decades in our country. And we know Vice President Harris, when she was a prosecutor and then Attorney General and District Attorney, she put transnational criminals, gangs, human traffickers in jail. She has been a dynamite champion of safety, the same way Governor Walz funded law enforcement. He funded public safety and first responders and did that work even after Trump, during his administration, led to a huge spike in crime rates that has finally started to come down under Biden and Harris. So there's really a strong argument for safety for the Harris ticket and against Trump Vance that I think Trump and Vance are hoping to try to avoid by throwing these kinds of attacks.
By the way, there's audio for this stuff. Like here's Donald Trump making the Vietnam comment. Play this clip.
You got to say to a woman, hey, listen, you got to go to my personal doctor and I'm going to have you checked out. Is that a tough thing to say to a woman, or you just got the balls to say it?
You know, I tell you, it's amazing. I can't even believe it. I've been so lucky.
Right.
In terms of that whole world.
You've never gotten a social disease.
It is a dangerous world out there. It is scary. It's like Vietnam, sort of like, the Vietnam era.
It is your personal Vietnam, isn't it?
It is my personal
It is. You've said that many
I feel
times.
like a great and very brave soldier.
A lot of guys who went through Vietnam came out unscathed. A lot of guys who've gone through the 80s having sex with different women came out with AIDS and all kinds of things.
They survived Vietnam.
This is better than Vietnam.
And here's Donald Trump, attacking the late, great McCain for McCain's service. Play this clip.
He hit me. He's not a war hero. He's a war hero. He's a war hero.
5.5 years.
He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay? I hate to tell you. Do you agree with that?
Here is George Conway on MSNBC. Play the clip.
Think of you every time I see these beyond capacity crowds for Kamala Harris, and now Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. What do you imagine the Trump version of Ketchup on the Wall is when he sees these images compared to his crowds?
Oh, I have no idea. I mean, we'll probably find out at 2:00 in the morning if we're still up monitoring Truth Social. I mean, he can't be liking this. This is his idea that crowd size matters all, and it's all about his ego from his standpoint. And now he can't fill the very same venues that Kamala Harris has been filling. One in Atlanta, the one yesterday at Temple University in Philadelphia. I mean, when you contrast the enthusiasm and the people filled to the rafters at Kamala Harris's rallies as opposed to Donald Trump's, I mean, it's quite a comparison. And I think it really just shows, I think there's just, the Harris campaign is a breath of fresh air. And I think that Professor Glaude is right, that what he just said a few minutes ago about there's going to be a coalition of the decent. There's a coalition of the decent, also a coalition of the normal. And what we're seeing from J.D. Vance is not normal and not decent.
Here on MTN is Congressmember Jared Moskowitz with me. Play this clip. No, I like that. I mean, look, on the one hand, you have Donald Trump and Shady Vance on the defensive. You have Vice President Kamala Harris right now and Governor Walz filling up stadiums, getting into Donald Trump's head.
My crowd is bigger. It's bigger.
Let's go through that the couch thing, though. I mean, you're the master of sarcasm. What do you make about that, sir? I mean, Shady Vance. So I call him Shady Vance. He has posted some very strange stuff, though, over the years. And 3 or 4 months ago, he posted a photo of like a dolphin and a woman, and it showed what his Google search was. And I mean, again, it's just like, as you said,
you don't have porpoises. You don't have porpoises in your Google search. I mean, like, what does a porpoise wear? These are the things J.D. Vance wants to know.
But look, I think what you showed at the Oversight Committee is to what you said before. When you go on the offense and you start calling these people out, they're the biggest snowflakes right away, huh?
Don't know how. They don't know how to deal with it. I mean, J.D. Vance is losing it over this couch stuff. And by the way, over the weird moniker that Tim Walz also came up with. I mean, again, look, the Republicans have been a little bit better with these nicknames, and, we can make fun of them, but sometimes they work because it breaks through that media cycle. It gets through the 24-hour news and it sticks with people. I mean, Tim Walz calling them weird is a thing, and it's working. And you know how it's working? Because Republicans are talking about it and defending it. No, you're weird. No, you're weird. Right? It's bothering them. And so, look, I'm a kid in the 90s, so was J.D. Vance. I mean, I grew up, looking at Kathy Ireland and, thinking about, oh, my God, she was like the supermodel of our time. I mean, J.D. obviously was thinking about Cherry from the Pee Wee Herman show.
Let me, speaking of that's how it's done. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 3 million together. Have a great one.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.